I want to talk about this. This is very important to me. As I've already said, I'm about to have a child of my own. And of course, my desire is just to create every opportunity for that child, to put my child in the position to succeed as much as humanly possible. Because I know that, at least for many years, they will not have the ability to do that themselves. But I am concerned that kids can become our whole worlds. And it's not even uncommon to hear a parent say that. My kid is my whole world. Now, not only is that a lot of pressure to put on a kid, but I am concerned that may breed narcissism in the kid. That may come to think that they are the most important thing. They are your God in a sense. And maybe they think that, they are their own God. They don't see you bowing to anything higher. Now, you may bow to something higher intellectually, maybe verbally, but the actions that you're manifesting are you're putting all your time, your money, and your energy into them. So my question is simple. Is there a limit to how much we should do for our kids? Is there a time to say, this is more important than you?
Absolutely. And I'm grateful you asked that. I don't think we can think enough in that category. And you're right. There are a lot of parents in this world who I think would make that declaration, or even if they don't make it, I think they're operating under the belief of that, which, a lot of adults in this world, I think we're conditioned to believe that's good parenting. Like if my kids are my whole world, then I'm being a good parent. I'm being a loving parent. I'm being a devoted parent. And the reality is, to your question, that's really not helpful. And it can seat kids at the center of our focus, our family, at the center of a lot of things that really is not helpful to their growth and development. We talk a lot about how too much power for kids creates insecurity. If kids feel like they're the strongest person in the room, or that I'm on par with my parents, I have that much authority, that much of a voice, that much of a presence, it creates a lot of insecurity. That's too much power. Now, do we want kids to have a voice? Absolutely. But we don't want them to have the strongest voice in the room. And so I don't think we can think enough about the practical ways that we can counter that. So, for example, I often will challenge parents to say, do you have date nights scheduled? And are you vocal about that? I want kids to know, Mom and Dad are going on a date. That's why we asked your grandmother to come. That's why we hired a sitter. We're excited to spend time together, just the two of us. I want kids to get to hear that. That's not harmful for kids to hear. It's helpful. I want kids to get to hear their parents talk about times they spend with their friends, because then we're modeling the importance of having healthy friendships as adults, of having accountability as men, like all the different ways that I think, again, we're giving kids a chance to observe, not just hear. And they see us prioritizing relationships outside of them, that we love being parents, that we're committed to being parents, and we're also people. In fact, back to Eugene Peterson. Eugene Peterson once said one of the most important parts of becoming a parent is becoming a person, that I'm developing as a person in a way that allows me to be a full human, spiritually, emotionally, relationally. I think it's, Andrew, even connected to the wisdom of the oxygen mask on an airplane. Every time the flight attendants give those reminders, they're saying over and over to parents, put your oxygen mask on first, because I cannot help a child I love unless I can breathe myself. And so I think when we operate under that sense of I should devote all of my time, all of my attention, all of my resources to parenting alone, I'm not putting on my oxygen mask. And that's not at all helpful to the kids I love. In fact, it can be really harmful.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that another potential danger in that is that you lose yourself over the, let's say, 20 years that you have kids in the house. And then when they go, there's none of you left. Your whole identity is wrapped up in them. You begin to live vicariously through them when they should be out having their own lives, and you should be having your your own life. I think it can make for a bad relationship dynamic when the parent does not have a life to go back to when the kid leaves.
Yes. Yes.